Arcane Season 2 trailer dropped. Thank God. And we got a lot of interesting things we can learn from this trailer, so let's get into it. So the trailer starts with Ambessa, Mel's mom, saying,
"Your counsel is dead."
She is lying. Or at least we're being misdirected. Victor is meant to become this half machine, half human being, and Jace is supposed to become this cocky, aloof inventor, and while we've certainly seen them start down that path, we haven't seen them finish that path. And there's a few more reasons why I think they're not going to die. We see Jace's glove in the teaser working on Vi's gauntlet. Shout out to Arcane in Detail on Twitter. Now, this could not be Jace, but, we haven't seen any other character with this kind of glove, so it seems likely. And we see also what looks like Victor with his cane in this explosive shot later on in the trailer. Also, Vi had to have her gauntlets fixed up, and Caitlyn has a new Hex Tech weapon that we've never seen before. So how'd she get that weapon if neither Jace or Victor survives? That ain't gonna happen. I have to assume that they both survive and continue along their journeys. So how do they survive? Well, I would like to stick with the theory that Mel has some sort of armor that she uses to save Jace and Victor, who are sitting right beside her in the council room. As for who else survives in the council, it's pretty hard to say. I'm going to assume that a lot of these people die because, Ambessa is saying your council is dead. But when she says that, she sounds like she's arguing with someone. So she's probably talking to Jace or Mel and saying that, hey, pretty much all of the rest of these guys are dead. So we gotta act now. We gotta fight. And I think it would make sense if Caitlyn's mom doesn't survive, because it would be such a great fuel for her arc, for her to be like, well, Jinx just murdered my mom. I need to go in there and get her. Then again, none of the creators, when asked, said that vengeance is a theme of season 2. So maybe not. Given her voice in the trailer and her many, many scenes in it, it's clear that Ambessa is an important character in season 2. Ambessa is a very interesting character. Now, the whole reason she was there in the first place was to get Hex Tech weapons. She says this explicitly to Mel. And in the second season trailer, we clearly see her soldiers mixed in with the Topsider enforcers. And she's using the opportunity to get in good with Piltover for military gain. I think what's also interesting to explore with Ambessa is that we know from one of the main show writers, Amanda Overton, that forgiveness is supposed to be a major theme of season 2. And I think that's very interesting when you mix that fact with this character, Ambessa. Because she has stated with Mel that Mel made her weak and made her unable to kill the people and make the tough decisions that she needed to keep her family safe. So that combined with, Christian Link, a show creator, saying that
every character really is becoming a bit of the opposite of who they were in season 1.
Maybe we even see Ambessa become a kinder character in season 2. Or maybe she's just the warlord she's always been. Also, we see she has braided hair when she's in her war suit, which is really funny to me because, when did she get this braided? Did she see that war was happening and she was like, quick, call my hairdresser? We see Warwick for a few seconds in this trailer, and, no matter how tough or big or bad he acts, you know that he's deep down inside, he's just a good boy. All right, next we're going to talk about one of the big ones, Vi. With Vi, we see a few different iterations of her. We see her in her regular Undercity clothes. Then we see her in her Enforcer outfit, but she kind of seems uncomfortable. And then we see her in her Enforcer outfit and with Clagger's goggles. We can assume that that's the progression of her character. There are people gathering around this building, presumably to listen to some kind of announcement from Caitlyn. And then they're attacked by chem fiends from above. Everyone starts to run away, but Vi walks forward. We don't see any explosions in her eyes, so we know that it has to be some kind of non-explosive attack, which would fit with the chem fiends being the ones attacking. And then we see her walking through the aftermath. Unless we're being misled by the trailer, this moment, and presumably other moments, convince and encourage her to become an enforcer. She doesn't seem comfortable in the role. She's a lot less confident than Caitlyn, but eventually, when she's wearing the goggles, this represents her having settled into the role and that her goal of chasing down Jinx is now personal for her because she has Clagger's goggles. She also has a very big fight scene with Jinx, but we're going to get to that later because it is hiding something very interesting. Because Vi's arc is going to be closely intertwined with Caitlyn's arc. It's likely that her mom died, which would give her a big motivation to end the war or to at least bring Jinx in. She's the captain of her team, as she explicitly states. We see two types of scenes with Caitlyn. We see her in her beret and not in her beret. When she has her beret, she also has her Hex Tech weapon. And when she doesn't have her beret, she has a different weapon. We also see a scene of her being attacked by a large chem fiend guard. And when you look closely frame by frame at this, you can see that she has two of the other members from her team there, as well as the Vanderbenzo love child, but he's in civilian clothes. But we also don't see Vi in this scene, so, Vi probably joins after this. This, plus the scene of Vi walking out saying,
"We've got a few surprises of our own,"
leads me to believe that Caitlyn's arc is about going around and collecting a team to hunt down Jinx. It's going to be interesting to see where she goes with this. We also see that Caitlyn has not just a Hextech powered rifle, but a Hextech powered bullet. So what does this bullet do? I'm super curious to hear what you guys think that it does. Let me know down in the comment section. Also, a very sad piece of information coming from this trailer. This is the last season of Arcane. I can't believe it. They're only doing 2 seasons. I'm so sad. Don't completely despair though, however, because the creators have said that they want to work with Fortiche, the animation studio behind Arcane, to make many other series from many different places in the League of Legends universe. So it might be the last season of Arcane that we're getting, but it's not going to be the last season in this kind of style and writing that we're gonna get. Yordle, 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 chortle me yordle. This guy's a yordle. If you don't know, the species of people, including Heimerdinger and this guy, is a yordle. And this yordle in particular is a Chem Baron, or Smeech, as the wiki tells me his name is, which I have to say is a fantastic name for him. Clearly, he's going to be a much bigger character in season 2 because we have 2 whole scenes of him in this tiny, short little trailer. His whole gang wears top hats, which is, very cute and unintimidating uniform to wear. And more interestingly, his arms use the same green liquid we've seen Chem Beans, we see it in Warwick, and we see it in pipes everywhere. So it's clearly some kind of chemical fluid stand-in for like a powering substance, like what we have with electricity. Maybe it was developed by Singed, or maybe it's unrelated. Either way, it's very interesting. In one scene, he's approaching a large statue of Jinx with gas coming out of its mouth, which he doesn't seem to like very much. And in the other, we see that he's fighting Savika, who has an arm that's been modified by Jinx. Interestingly, if you go frame by frame, you can see in the background of that Jinx is actually standing in the alleyway, blocking his exit from fighting Savika. She also seems to be standing there with a child. I'm super interested to know who this child is going to be. Here's how I interpret this information. Jinx and Savika are working together in season 2, and they are in conflict with Smeech and possibly the other Chem Barons who are fighting for control in the Undercity. In the fight scene, he's lost his cute little hat. He looks desperate. Cornered. He's in an alleyway. He has no escape, as if he has to fight his way out between either Savika or Jinx. And I think this is the only reasonable way to interpret this information, because if Jinx was on his side, she'd be helping him fight Savika. If Jinx wanted to swoop in on the loser of the fight, she'd be hiding rather than in plain view. And also, why would Savika ever use an arm that's been modified by Jinx? Unless, they were working together. Finally, Jinx and Savika working together would completely fit the theme of what we were told by show co-creator Christian Link about season 2, that every character is the opposite of what they were in season 1. And we see Savika using one of Jinx's guns in another scene. So it seems like they're working together because, it doesn't look like she just barely got this off her in a fight. It looks like an ambush or something. Speaking of being the opposite of who you were in season 1, let's speak on Jinx. She's Topsider enemy number 1. She becomes a revolutionary hero for Zaun. She's got a mural. She's got this very creepy statue that spits out gas, possibly a monument to her that she rigged as a trap. But why? Why would Jinx be so beloved in the Undercity? When before, people didn't really like her. They thought of her as a loose cannon. Well, I see 2 scenes that could answer this question. We see what looks to be some sort of prison camp or guard checkpoint in the trailer being attacked and presumably liberated from Piltover control by Jinx explosives. And another scene that looks to be a guard checkpoint or an entrance to a prison involving an enforcer and a Noxus guard in Vastaya, which is the half-human, half-animal race of people, if you don't know, like this rat guy or this fish guy or any other animal person. And interestingly, in the second scene, we see another child is involved in this Enforcer Noxus scene. So maybe Jinx is using children to get close to her targets with her explosives. It would completely fit her character. And amid these explosions, we see a hooded figure, the one responsible. Jinx's monkey symbol lingering in the background, which only appears when she's about to do violence, like in the Shimmer ship, or when hurting the Enforcers, or when she knocks out Caitlyn, or on Silco's mug, who she ends up killing. So this hooded figure is definitely 100% Jinx, right? There's nobody else it could be. Well, yeah, it probably is Jinx, but I think it's worth entertaining another theory. It could be a copycat or another anonymous Zaunite doing this in Jinx's honor because she's so revered. And I only have one piece of evidence for this, and that's that the shawl they are wearing has 2 long pieces of fabric that imitate Jinx's hairstyle. If it was Jinx, why would she want to make a shawl that looks like her and then hide when all the chaos is happening? Wouldn't she want to take off and celebrate in the middle of chaos? That's more her style. But take this theory with a grain of salt because because there are any number of reasons why she could have this on. You know, dramatic effect. Actually, Jinx taking the time to make her shawl look more like herself is completely in character for her. Or she wants to sow a little bit more chaos before she reveals herself. But I think it would be so interesting if we saw Zaunite people doing copycat attacks of what Jinx does. Hell, this hooded figure could even be the target of Jinx's attacks. Okay, so finally, the big Jinx fight scene. This has to be the final fight. You know, two sisters just going at her. Well, I'm not so sure. In the first trailer for the first season of Arcane, they only showed us one fight scene from Act 3, and that was Vi and Jace versus the Chem Fiends, nowhere near the finale. So I think it's far more likely that this is a fight scene from the end of Act 2 or something. Interestingly, in this scene, we see all these drawings done by Jinx on the pillars. So what do they represent? Well, on the right side, we got a drawing of Vander, Vi, and Powder, and then Powder crying in front of the dead Vander that she killed, and then a final drawing on the right side of her being tortured by the demons from killing those people. It's pretty straightforward. But on the other side, it's not so straightforward. We have Vi and Powder being sisters, and then some kind of monkey explosion. The pillar is broken in two, and on the other part, we see Silco being shot. Unless this pillar is from another part of the story she's telling, this is the monkey symbol, which is a stand-in for Jinx committing acts of violence. And on the last pillar, we see this blue demon-like creature. Now, this could actually represent something from Season 2, but I believe that it is supposed to represent Caitlyn and how Jinx views her as a demonic force taking away her sister. And that's it. The only other thing to add to this is that we saw these two posters at the Annecy Film Festival where they showed this trailer, and given the history of the monkey symbol that we just discussed, it clearly means that Vi is Jinx's target. So if Vi is Jinx's target, and Jinx is revered, Vi is probably not well liked in Zaun. And the only question I have is, does that come before or after Vi joins the Enforcers? I assume it's before, but who knows? Anyways, Jinx is probably revered because she's the only person capable of striking back at Piltover so effectively. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about everything I've said in this video. Do my theories match up with how you interpreted the trailer? And more interestingly, I'm curious, how do you think forgiveness plays a role in Season 2? Do you think that maybe Jinx and Vi have a happy ending where they forgive each other? Or do you think this forgiveness that Amanda Overton told us about applies to other characters in the series? Please like and subscribe. I worked so hard on this video, and I worked so hard to bring this content to you, and I love you guys. Peace.